All right. What is up, my friends? All right. So today we're going to talk a little bit about staying power, stick to itiveness, the sheer numbers of people that come into network marketing that don't last, don't make it is, I don't have the exact numbers, but I think anybody in the profession knows that a high percentage of people just don't stick around, and even talented people, people that have the ability, work ethic. I've seen great people come into network marketing that don't make it. And that's, I mean, then there's people that come in that honestly aren't cut out for network marketing because it's not for everybody. Uh, to say that anybody can win, everybody can win in network marketing is total BS. It's not true. So I want to talk a little bit about, you know, how, lasting. Like I've lasted, and I say lasted because I mean lasted, thrived, survived for 3.5 decades. That's a long time to be in the network marketing space. So even honestly, even as a speaker and a trainer, that game ain't easy. A lot of people want to be on stage and doing all that, but like if you follow me around for like a week in my office and you saw all the stuff that's involved in speaking and teaching and training, it's not just the dude up on the stage. I mean, it would be great. I would love it if all I did was just get booked and, show up on the weekend and do my thing. But like, for example, I'm speaking 2 times this weekend. I'm speaking on Friday and Saturday in Dallas. And the amount of prep work that goes into that, all people see is, oh, it's just the same thing in like social media. Like people on social media, all they see is the wins. They don't see the work and the frustration and the anguish and all the things that go on for most people that are successful in network marketing. I know a lot of people in network marketing. I'm pretty well connected, and a great majority of people that have achieved success, they didn't out of the chute, like crushed it. I mean, even I have a friend of mine that's just on my mind right now as I'm bringing this up. I mean, this dude was like, I don't know, like 10 years of doing network marketing before he finally hit it big. And then another guy, I mean, like Jordan Adler, for example, you guys all know who that is probably. I mean, Jordan failed at like 10, 11, 12. I don't remember at least 10 companies where he made zero. And then finally hit it big with Excel years ago. And then obviously he's, doing incredibly well now. In fact, I was at Jordan's 60th birthday party in where were we? Where the heck were we? Dominican Republic. Thank you. And I remember sitting with Jordan, and I was like, man, I'm like, dude, you never gave up. You never quit. And he goes, wrong. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, I always quit. And I was like, what do you mean? And so, because he went from company to company to company, he'd go 3 months, quit, 2 months, quit, 6 months, quit, whatever, quit. And it wasn't finally until he locked in that he finally hit a big level of success. So I'm gonna go through like 5 bullet points today. I've got a Zoom coming up in 45 minutes. So I'm definitely not going to go that long, but just want to have a conversation with you guys. So like the illusion of overnight success. You see all the cool stuff on social media, and even myself pre-social media, when I got started in network marketing, I hunkered down and honed in on the testimonial reel that occurred after the first BizOp presentation that I went to. It was like this, they gave the presentation and talked about leverage, income, and money, and building a team, and all that was sounded great. But then at the end, they showed social validation. They showed all these testimonies. And back then it was all BMWs, Porsches, Mercedes, everybody standing in front of their car with their fancy suit on, and they're, holding their watch up like this so you could see the glimmer of the watch or whatever. And, so that created a seed in my mind that, oh yeah, it's easy. Like nobody told me it was easy. Ever. Nobody ever told me this is easy, but the way it was promoted painted a picture that it was far easier than I came to realize that it was. So, I do think there's some degree of an illusion, because we see the wins and we don't see the work. And I'm pretty confident that this quote comes from Natalie Cole. If I'm mistaken, please correct me. Everyone sees the glory, but they don't know the story. Like they see they see where you're at and your lifestyle and your rank and whatever, but they don't see the path. Maybe you went through 9 years of frustration, or in my case, 2 years of making no money, or in Jordan's case, 10 companies or 12. I can't remember what it was. So, I mean, that's, I do think there's some degree of an illusion that's perpetuated when we promote and pitch. And of course, I mean, we don't want to make it sound like dog crap, right? It's not like, oh yeah, come in and this is like, you're going to grind harder than you've ever grinded in your life. And probably 80% of the people that you talk to are going to think you're crazy and nuts and make fun of you. And, honestly, some of the people will maybe not want to be your friends anymore because you brought a business deal to them, which to me, I think, okay, you clearly not my friend. If I brought you some business venture and you are no longer my friend, I mean, how much of a friend were you? So, I think, what can we do about that? I mean, I think it's good to tell the truth. I think it's good to be honest. Maybe like, how truthful do we want to be? Like, I think being honest and being forthright and telling people the reality while still being promotional and, making it, painting this beautiful picture of what it could be like, because the truth is, like, it can be incredibly beautiful. Network marketing can be incredibly fantastic. I don't know where the hell that came from, whatever. But, I mean, some of you guys that are probably plugged into this, have experienced like the amazingness that can occur in network marketing. Does not come without work. It does not come. I don't know anybody, honestly, that's a huge earner that hasn't had some degree of frustration, or even at some point maybe felt like quitting. I mean, I know big earners, and some of them are just, tired, but then it's like, excuse me for using this example, but I kind of and I've never done it, but I'm quite sure it's probably very addictive, like crack cocaine. Never done it, but I'm assuming since people get so addicted to it, it must feel pretty good. And then they get into it and they can't get away from it because it's like it's got its claws into you. And I think that, residual income, if you get a chance to experience it once, like you get a chance to get even to, whatever, $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month. Nobody's going to say that's monster money, but you get to that level and then it disappears. Like how would you, I want to interview some people that bailed on network marketing after they got to 10 G's a month of residual income and then never came back because, I don't know, the company went to affiliate, which we've seen happen numerous times, in the last 12, 24 months, or, whatever, something happened in the company. The FDA said, you guys can't use that ingredient. Your most active ingredient was toast. And now you got to go build all over again. So, I think most people are guilty of promoting an illusion. Number two, and I know this is going to be like repeat for a lot of you, but what I've found like working with people is like this, it is like network marketing 101, right? Like when you get somebody started, in fact, I got to think back. I don't know that the very first company that I joined that they actually did this or not, but it's pretty commonplace today. Like in any getting started, onboarding process, helping them get their tools in order, meeting the team, whatever, I'm not going to go into all that, but, getting clear with your why, like, why are you doing this business? What I found, because I've talked to a lot of people, is they either they don't really actually get crystal clear with why they're doing the business. They don't dig deep. They like, oh, I got to get rid of my credit card debt, or I want to buy a new car, or what it's like surface level why. And the surface level why isn't going to keep you in the game when you have a leg that leaves your business and goes to another company, and then they start raiding your downline. I mean, that's not, the fact that you wanted to get out, I don't know, that would probably work to the opposite. It'd probably make you're like, oh crap, now I'm further away from getting out of debt than I was now that this leg got stripped out of me and went to another company, and now they're totally rating my downline, which happens. It's not cool, but it happens. So my question to you individually and for you to think about is, are you with your team members, like when you bring on a new team member, do you actually take the time to sit down with them and really dig deep and find out why they're doing the business? Because what I find is maybe even if they did go deep, they went deep on day one and then they forget about it like, a week later, rather than being like so closely attached to why you're doing this. Cause it's the why that will push you through and keep you in there on those frustrating days. Like you could have a totally crappy day, totally crappy month, totally crappy year, but the bigger picture of why you're doing it is likely going to keep you in the game. So, I mean, that would be, I realize that's very fundamental and basic, but I don't know. I mean, I don't really believe that most people that are bringing an individual into network marketing actually really spend the time to go, okay, like why do you want to do this business? I want to get out of debt. Okay, that's cool. But like beyond that, like what are what are the things that on a bad day, it won't even matter how bad the day is or how bad the week is or how bad the month is, that you're just going to keep on going because what's on the other side of that is so much bigger that you're going to keep going. And if we can get people to attach to that, then they'll get their ass out of bed and get after it, even when they don't feel like it. Truth be told, I don't feel like doing anything. If I'm being brutally honest, I would love to do nothing, but I get my butt out of bed like I did this morning, 6 a.m., went to yoga, came home, took a shower, came into the office, started getting stuff done because I have core emotional drivers, and I'm very, very attached to those on a daily basis. My as yours will, my reasons why shift over time. I didn't have kids before. Then you have kids. I'm literally getting ready to send 2 kids at the same time off to college. And little side note for you parents, especially you brand new parents, the day your child is born, you should start a 529. If you don't know what that is and you have kids, that's not a good sign. Because I can tell you right now, because I talked to a lot of parents that have got kids that are getting ready to go to college, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I had no idea." Like that, it's now they're 18 years of age, graduating, and I've been putting money away, and I don't have enough money. So that's one of those things. I'm just telling you, like, you can listen to me or be like, "Yeah, whatever, Falcone," and blow me off, which is totally fine. Or you can go, wow. I mean, even myself, like I've been putting money away for my kids since birth, and I'm still going to have to go out of pocket rather than looking back, I would have like doubled what I put into their college funds. So yeah, no, on subject, but off subject a little bit. So I think there's like also 3 phases of reality and network marketing. It's like that initial excitement. You're totally pumped. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to change my life. This is amazing. And then I don't know, we got call it the muddy middle. The reality sets in. It's like, or we go back to the honeymoon phase, then, the relationship that requires work. And then, the I don't know, the long-term aspect of what you're doing. And we spend a lot of time in the muddy middle. I mean, how long does the romance of the initial stages of, I mean, you could be involved in network marketing and you're so fired up. Oh my gosh, I found something. This is going to be I mean, even myself, like when I look back, I was so pumped. I was like, oh, 10 grand a month, no boss, no job, BMW, Rolex watch, super shallow stuff, but whatever. And I called my mom. I drove home from the opportunity meeting. I drove home I called my mom. I said, Mom, I found my career path. And she's like, oh yeah. 'Cause I was the first child out of my entire family, an extended family, to graduate from college. So I'm graduating college and I call my mom because I'm excited. I found this thing. I like didn't know what network marketing was the day before, found it, totally enamored by it. And then I'm doing this thing. You can recruit people, you build a team, da, 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 da. And she's like, oh my God, you're in a pyramid scheme. That's a cult. If you do that, I'm going to make you pay back every last dollar of your college education. My mom was really good with threatening money, like cutting off the money. Really good at it. In fact, like it's so funny because she had no money. Like growing up, we had no money. And, my parents got divorced. My mom married my stepdad, and he was like not rich, but like he was making back in like late 70s, early 80s, making six figures, whatever. Like, I don't know, 150,000, maybe 200 a year. So that's not rich. But, you know, for her first time in her life, she had money, you know, had this shift, and she was so good at using the money. Like, I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to take you out of the will. I don't know how many times I got pulled out of the will, probably too many times to count, but you got to also understand it's like, you know, you're going to spend most of your time in that muddy middle. And then even when you're like moving to this long game strategy, you're still going to have, you know, some degree of frustrations. Like think about this, for example, like you got people like with Rodan and Fields and Color Street and other companies that have gone away from network marketing and stripped their compensation plan out to affiliate or gone out of business. And, you know, let's say you made a lifetime commitment to that company and you're like, I don't want to say coasting, but you're cruising along going, this is great. You know, still in active building mode. And that's at least where you should be, active building mode. And the check is good. And you're like, this is awesome, man. And when you get network marketing going right, I think this is where the addiction comes from. When you get network marketing going right, there's nothing better. There really isn't. Like when you get it going and it's grooving, there's nothing better. Like, cause it's just that good. And, but then, you know, let's say you're in that mode and then, you know, sorry, we're gone. I mean, I feel for all these people where it's like out of the blue, not expected. And that occurs. I mean, that happened to me. I will say it happened to me directly one time. And fortunately, we had a little bit of like warning runway. The executive vice president of the company was tight with us. So he's like, hey, man, probably going to be able to pay checks for like maybe another 90 days. And then this deal is going to be toast. So, and then he called me, hey, the check you just got, that's the last check. But even in that situation, I wasn't fully prepared. Fortunately, I was able to bounce back because I didn't spend all my money. The check went to zero. And during the next, I don't know, 10 to 12 months, I blew through 85 grand to, you know, because when you go from making money to no money, you're going to have to pull it from somewhere. And if you got nowhere to pull it from, that's not a good thing, which, you know, another lesson within this message, which networkers are notorious for blowing all their cash. The run never lasts forever. We want it to last forever. I want to say never. But most of the time, the run never lasts forever. Like 9 out of 10 times, it don't last forever. And you could be on this thing, this super acceleration mode. I don't care what deal, what company, what industry. It doesn't always go like this. At some point, it's going to flatten out, and then it goes like this, and hopefully, it doesn't go like this down into oblivion. You know, maybe adjust, kind of like the stock market. Oh, news, great news. Okay, cool. Okay, consolidation. Oh, bad news or changes and then up. And that's life. So being able to weather those storms, I think, again, it comes down to like expectations and the reality of like, you know, just, okay, well, what, you know, like, what are we going to experience here? Like, what's really going to happen here? Is this going to be Fantasy Island and super easy and everybody you talk to is going to join and they're going to get it? And, you know, that's not the case. That's why, like, I think it's really important. Like maybe this didn't happen for you, but when you're sitting down with new people, I think it's so much better to create realistic expectations about what they're likely going to experience and be honest with them again, you decide how honest you want to be. You don't want to scare them away. Like, hey, I'm going to tell you right now, man, there's going to be people that are going to call it a pyramid scheme, and they're going to be, they're going to be mean. You're going to, I mean, like, you can still be honest without like scaring them away. But I think almost to the verge of like scaring somebody away isn't necessarily a bad idea, because it's like a test for them. It's like an initial test to determine, do they have the staying power? It's like, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but like majority of people that get into network marketing don't make it. And it's not because the model is stacked up against them. Like there's some, there's something about the nature of network marketing that prevents people from succeeding. It's hard work, man. I mean, it's not hard work to make $500 a month, but it's hard work to make 10. And it's certainly hard work to make 20 or 50 a month. So being real with people about what they're going to expect, or, what's going to happen, I think is a good idea. And it's like, if somebody can't handle the battlefield, why bring them to war? Like, why bring them into it anyhow? Because that they're going to get, blasted. I mean, the first time they get a prospect that says no to them, and then they just get demolished and can't handle it. Maybe you're saving both of yourselves some heartache. And I didn't number these bullets, but the other one is like, I think small wins are beautiful things. So when it comes to starting in a business, like, it's so much better to have like, and the way I phrased it before is like many victories, many, lots of small victories. Because like, it's great to have a what they call it, a BHAG, what does BHAG say? Big, hot, audacious goal. What's the H? Somebody remind me what the hell the H is. Big, huge, audacious goal. I don't know. BHAGs. It's great to have these monster objectives and goals and things that you want to accomplish. I mean, I'm not saying not to have that, but you have to have, like, you got to set yourself up for smaller wins in the bigger picture. Like, if you can just have lots of little wins, that's like when I'm trading, which I've been trading like stocks and crypto, as much as I want 1,000x return on something, that would be a big win. Put $100 into something and it multiplied by 1,000. And that, can happen in, more specifically, like in crypto than it can in the stock market. It's so friggin' hard. I mean, I've spent a year and a half doing crypto investing in particular, like hours and hours. And I've still never had 1,000x. I've had some 10x's, but like, if I'm just like playing for the 1,000x, I'll take a 20% return, close the trade, 10% return, close the trade. It's better to have those little victories, a bunch of greens than a bunch of reds. If I showed you like my wallet right now, and you're like red. I mean, if all you're getting is defeat, how can, you can't last. Like, depending on, I realize that I'm doing this live right now and it's being recorded, depending on when you happen to view this, like the last 48 hours, specifically in the crypto market, it's been I mean, what's the right word for it? People have gotten demolished. And like, people are like, okay, my bags are completely empty. I got to go back and get a job. I'm out, I'm done. I'm so frustrated. And, I think those people that are in that position are likely kind of like the networkers that are coming in and they're like, I'm going to hit this thing and I'm going to be making 50 grand a month. And all they're doing is focusing on the 50 grand a month. So every time that they're further away, which they're going to be far away from 50 grand a month for a long period of time, they're going to continue to have a degree of frustration. We all know that if you stay in a mental state of frustration and anguish and disappointment and discouragement, ultimately, most people aren't going to push through that. Now some people will. I did. I know a lot of other people that did, but I think that takes a special person. That's why, it does take, there's individuals that you need to have this resilience and stick-to-itiveness and perseverance and thick skin. And, I think those are all mandatory qualities for somebody that's going to last in this business. If you don't have that, you're not going to last, because you will get your ass handed to you in this business. So that's just a fact, and, instead of going, oh yeah, it's going to be beautiful and lovely. So think about it. Like, are you setting yourself up for little small wins? Like, I'm not going to get into the specifics on that, but if like look, I'm, maybe the small win is like an activity goal. Like, okay, I'm going to do 2 reach outs today. That's not a lot, but like, okay, I got my 2 reach outs. That's a victory. I'm going to do 2. Let's say it's 2. I'm going to do 2 reach outs a day, 2 invites a day. Okay. That's a victory. It's a victory. It's a victory versus like, I'm going to do 50 reach outs and you did 2. All you're going to do is be disappointed every single day you show up to go build the business. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make, you're just going to be totally discouraged. And again, like, this is a mental toughness, emotional resilience business. So what can you do to be mentally tough? I actually had I rewrote it, and then I retitled it and rewrote it. I had this thing called 7 Steps to Mental Toughness. I don't know. Let me see if I even have it here. Hang on, hang tight. Let me see. Hold your horses. I have no idea where that phrase comes from, by the way. Hold on. Where is it? Okay, so we retitled it Mindset Quick Win. If you want to have a tool that will help you with the resilience, the perseverance, the positive outlook, even on crap days, if you go to toddfalcone.com/mindset, you can download that free tool. And then the last thing you got to do is like how do you overcome like the common, I don't know how we want to phrase it, the quitter's trap. Like, why, as a pro networker, this would be like, okay, I'm gonna finish with this. This is a good one to finish with. If you're a pro networker, or if you're a company owner, I don't know why owners don't do this. I can guarantee you most don't. But like, when people quit, why did they quit? Now I realize like somebody who didn't do the work comes in and bails, and they're not deserving of a win because they didn't do any work. But like, when you got people that are in your company or in your downline, in your team, and they quit, you should do an exit interview. Why wouldn't you do an exit interview? Why wouldn't you find out like, hey, what's up, man? Like, why are you bailing? Or you bailed. Why'd you bail? Like, just, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and try to beg you to come back, but if you can identify like why people quit. I mean, yeah, okay, we can look at the surface stuff, like people quit. Okay, I'm not making any money. That's probably number one. I've been, and then you could couple that with like, I'm not making money and my spouse is nagging at me because I'm not making any money and I've been in this thing for 1.5 years. That's a tough position to be in. My sponsor's a jerk. I was going to use a different word. People don't come here to get bossed around. They don't come here to be, mentored, guided, assisted, helped, coached, but not like pointing your fingers. And I don't know that there's a lot of people like that, but I know people that have quit teams because they don't like the way the upline is kind of rolling. And I know people that have quit companies because they're, they don't like, the company constantly makes changes, or they always make these promises and never fulfill on their promises, or they are driving a product that is like the mainstay of the company, but they stock out of the product that, you've built your whole business on, or, whatever. I don't need to go into all of the different reasons, but you know, I think for you, if you're a networker watching this, like you should keep a tally on why people split. And then you can go, okay, well, what if anything can we do to keep people around? I mean, any smart business person would very likely do that. I'm not saying that you're not smart, by the way, if you haven't done that. So don't get mad at me. But all I'm saying is, like it's like, okay, so why do people attrit? Why do they quit? You know, and I'm talking specifically on the distributor side. You could do the same for customers. But if you can find out the reasons people bail and come up with a solution to that, have like a little mastermind or round table or whatever with the other key leaders and go, these, you know, I've, you know, combined between the 10 top leaders on our team, because we've done tons of exit interviews. We found that these are the top 5 reasons why people don't stick around. They don't have the staying power. You know, sometimes it's on them. It is. It's on the individual that just doesn't hang out. They think that it's going to happen overnight. Riches don't happen overnight. Even a moderate degree of success doesn't happen overnight. Maybe their expectations are out of alignment. Maybe they're super low on the skill category, or maybe they're just not doing, you know, they're barely doing anything, which I find is pretty common. So all that's on them. You know, granted, if you're providing that person with all the things that they need to succeed, they're like, you're providing them a path to run on, and it's clear and easy to understand, then you've done your job and you're there and available. But if it's like you're signing people up into something and there's no clear path, there's no runway, there's no ABC 1, 2, 3, like, then, you know, whose fault is that? It's your fault. You're bringing people into something and you're expecting them to figure it out. So it's, I mean, both sides have responsibility. The distributor, the rep who either has or doesn't have the staying power, as well as the leader that is providing resources, tools, education, whatever they're providing to their team to make it easier for them to take action. And then the thing is that, again, I said this on a live, I think last week, the only downside of network marketing, I mean, if there's probably more than one downside. I don't know. I can't really think of many downsides, but the one big downside of network marketing is you're not the owner. So you have to just roll with the punches there. Like, that's the only downside. And I mean, it could be an upside too, you know? I mean, it's, you don't pull the purse strings, you don't make the decisions corporately. So you're at the whim of whatever they do. Hopefully they make good decisions, they make wise decisions, they make thoughtful decisions that benefit the field. Sometimes they don't. And there's nothing really you can do about that. So again, as I'm finishing this up, I just think it would be good for you to take a look at the reasons, and this will take you some time. If you haven't started doing this, it would be really smart for you to take some time and go, why are you leaving? Why'd you leave? And like, I mean, they'll tell you. I mean, they went to another company, they quit network marketing altogether. It's like, look, man, I just want to find out, like, and again, I'm not going to try to convince you to come back over here. I mean, it'd be great if you did, but that's not the purpose of this call. I just want to find out, like, really, like, what happened here so we can do things differently in the future. And I think people will be brutally honest with you and tell you. And if you get a large enough sample size of that, then you can look at it and go, okay, where do we plug the holes? Where do we fix this thing so that we can mitigate the numbers of people that bail? You're never going to eliminate it, but you can most certainly mitigate it. And you could probably substantially mitigate it if the things that you're discovering are within your control. Okay? Because we can only change the things that we can control. We can't change the things that we can't control. So those are my thoughts for the day. I appreciate you guys for plugging in. And we will see you next time. All right. Have a great day. We'll see you.